And welcome everyone. Tonight's topic is prepping priorities. What are your priorities when it comes to prepping? Are you right side up or upside down? Let's drop it back down to this one, since no one else has decided to come up and join me yet. Anyway, so yeah, I saw another one of these channels last week, and that's why I moved this one up on the schedule a little bit, saying, oh, you got to get this, this, and this. And so I'm looking at the guy like, why do you have to get 10,000 rounds of ammunition when it's at its most expensive right now? Why do you need to get a whole bunch more different guns than when you already have, and 10,000 rounds for each of those new guns and stuff? Why do you got to do all this? And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight is, why are some channels telling you to do stupid stuff? All right, but first, I want to say hi to everybody. So let me pop over here and bring up the comments and scroll up here to the top here. Wow, got a lot in there, 100 and some odd comments. All right, so first one in was Phelan Klein Wolf, followed by Super Scout, then Carol at Fishes and Loaves Lives, aka we just named her the Sniper. Sonar Roots with Christie's here. Hugo Homestead, that's CB. And then Trish Wiley came in, Gear Grinding 19. And they're saying hi to each other, scrolling on down here. Yep, everyone starts talking around, carrying on conversation. And I froze. Uncle Al came in, Die Bullfrog 79. Jenny Pennington came in. Shady Hill Homestead's here. Mary Beth Smith came in. Jay is here. And going down. Everyone's talking. Kaylin's Train. Hey guys, you want to know anything about MREs and stuff? Check out Kaylin's Train's commercial channel. Blah, blah. I'm tired tonight already. Tibor is here. Hey, Tibor. Tim Fergal, another someone from here from Idaho. And Howie, Food Forest Permaculture. You want to know how to do a good garden and even have a garden in your house? Check out Howie. And Garden State Gardener. Hey, Joe, how's it going? Tasha, Prep for It. I got to throw this one up here. That's right, Fishes. That's what all my friends with the wrenches are for. Take care of that. Of course, I'm preset, so if he shows his ugly mug, I just got to click a button once, and he can't say anything for 40 minutes. Abe Near's here. Hey, Abe. Lori, Prairie Rider, Queen of the North. Welcome. And Granny Goose is here. Gunslinger's in the house. All right, scrolling down. Suburban Hillbilly. Man, everyone's just talking. I love it. Everybody's talking, making friends, having a good time here. Coming on down. Yeah. And yeah, all right. So that has it. We got 22 in the house. Greetings, everyone. All right. So tonight, let me switch around, make that bigger and me smaller. All right. So tonight, I can find there it is. All right. So what are we talking about? Prepping priorities. And I got food, water, medicines, clothing, and weapons listed up there. But which one of these is your top priority? And so I'm just going to run a couple of slides here, and then we're going to get into discussion here. All right. And this is one of the things some of them are doing. They're not picking right. Food storage or guns? Food storage or guns? Which is it? Which one am I going to do? Oh, no. And then some idiot on on one of these YouTube channels goes, guns, 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 guns. And it's like, really, dude? And get people going off spending stuff when they shouldn't be. Oh, and then it comes down, medical supplies or guns. And the guys again yelling out, they're yelling, oh, you don't need medical supplies, you need guns and stuff. And it's ammo or food. Well, if you got your guns, you need your ammo for it. You know, you can get guns later. I mean, you get food later. You need ammo and guns now. And it's ammo or clothing. And these guys are just going on. Same thing. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. They're going off in the wrong direction, misleading a bunch of beginner and not so beginner preppers into thinking, you know, wait a minute. What do I really need to prep? This guy's telling me one thing, and these other channels are saying, you know, food and water, and these all these other ones going, you know, guns, 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 weapons, 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 and it's like, okay. So that's the. Let's get back down here to this, and if when the others show up, we'll get them up here. Let's see who else just came in here. Okay, Trish Wiley, Idaho Garden Girl just came in. And did I miss anybody else while I was going off on that little rant? All right. And it's, you know, it really irks me when you got these guys out here who are purporting to be experts in survivalism and preparedness. And, you know, the one guy's like, I got asked the question, well, how long have you been doing it? And he said, I've been doing it for 4 years. I said, great. I've been doing it since 1971. Who knows more? And he deleted all my content, all my comments. So, you know, these guys have, you know, they're so out there spouting crap they don't know about, and they're spouting about stuff that can't take any. And my internet froze me again for a second. So the thing is, you know, you need to use some common sense. And Jay, this is where the common sense come in. Go back to the rules of three. And the rules of three are very basic survival rules. 3 minutes without air, the average person dies. 3 days without water, the average person dies. 3 weeks without food, the average person dies. So with that, where is weapons and ammunition and stuff in that? Water, food. Air's all around you, so yeah, you may need to get some other stuff added to that, you know, to keep the air clean for you, and so you're not, you know, dealing strictly with, you know, smoky air, whatever. But the air is pretty much taken care of, unless, of course, we wind up with a, you know, someone releases a chemical agent or a biologic or a thermonuclear device or a dirty bomb, and you know, then the air becomes polluted and you got to have a filter for it. But on the base part, the air is taken care of. So you just got to take care of your water and your food. And of course, the number one failure of preppers, especially these ones yelling, guns, 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 like idiots, is water. You know, they may have some MREs and stuff stored away, but you ask them, well, how much water do you got? Well, I can get water anywhere. I got this life straw thing. I can suck 10,000 gallons out of the dirty creek with it. Yeah. So anyway, so when you're figuring out what you're planning for, you know, what you're going to be prepping for and getting stuff. And yeah, Tim, that's the other one. Yeah, all right. Tim threw one up here. Volcanic ash. I mean, we've had that with Mount St. Helens and a couple of other volcanoes and stuff around the world. So volcanic ash is another one, but, you know, a good filter system will take care of that for you. But, you know, Uncle Al, yes. All right, let's throw that one up there. Oh, no, wrong one. It jumped on me. Here we go. Hey, Diggs. Your life straw is not going to take out the stuff from somebody's pee in the creek. A little life straw isn't a $10,000 filter system that removes all of the bacteria and stuff out of urine. So yeah, and don't forget, fish make love in the water. The bears and deers poop next to the water. So, you know, your fresh mountain stream ain't all that fresh. Hey, Laura, Hedgehog Homestead is in the house. So when you're planning for setting up what your priorities are, you need to remember, let me just skip it there. Okay. So when you're setting up your priorities need to be basically how it's listed on here. Water, because that's the thing you need the most to live on. Your body is what, 2/3 water. And without water, 3 days you die. Food. So if you're able to keep find something to eat on, food's next. Medications, first aid equipment, that stuff comes in next there as stuff that is perishable, and you need to make sure you have it. And like Gunslinger says next, shelter and warmth. Well, that's where clothing comes in. Clothing provides a little bit of shelter from the elements, better than running around like our Neanderthal the friends here, out there running around in just loincloths. Hey, Texas Rob. And so you need some protection, especially in the wintertime. You're going to need protection from the elements. And clothing is your first step of protection. A home, obviously. And if you go, well, what if I got to bug out? Well, you don't just bug out, just take off running. You have a plan. You figure out where are you going if you have to bug out and what you're doing. So your prepping priorities need to be set out in a plan and lined out where you can do stuff. And CB says 90-day supply of medications. Yes, at least. And I was picking some stuff up, and the cough syrup I got is good to till September 24, I believe. And the froze. And the Mucinex generic from Sam's Club is good. Had an expiration date of 26 on it. Something in year 2026. So I got stuff that's some of my medications are out there good for a long time. And of course, if you listen to Doc Bones and Nurse Amy, and you picked up any of their stuff from off their book, let me see if I can pull that up here for you, because this is a good book to have. And let me pull it up here. There we go. Health. There it is. Guess I'm going to Amazon into my show wish list stuff. So that's the quickest way I have to find some of these things here. All right. There we go. Doc Bones and Nurse Amy's book, Alton's Antibiotics and Infectious Diseases, it just got updated because one of the brands was Fish Mox. They used to say, you can get it because, hey, it was exactly the same thing as what was released for people. It was basically the same plant was making it, and they just divert some and put Fish Mox on the label. It's the exact same stuff they're prescribing for people. Well, now they're making it so you got to have a prescription to buy the Fish Mox for your fish. Yes, big pharmacy is trying to control us. So, but that's one of the ones that'll help you get your prepping priorities set. Let me catch up on the stuff here. Oh, Dave, Southern Ohio Prepping's in the house. All right. Spread information here. Okay. Carol's saying if that applies to Tamandrol or others like it. So what did... All right. So she says she can get a 90-day supply of medications from the doctor instead of 30-day. That's good. And if you need to, especially Carol down there in Florida where you have hurricanes now and then, you might use that as an excuse to get the doctor to go ahead and give you a 90-day prescription, and followed up by every 30 days after that. You keep adding on to the end of it as you use the stuff up. That might be a way to do that. Let's see what we got going down here. Yeah, that's it. Sometimes too, the insurance, if you run through the insurance will only pay for so much of the medication, and they won't let you get more than 1 month's supply, where they're paying for it. So if you have to, you got to do the cash with it. But then there's also those pay plans out there, like what's it? Oh shoot! I keep seeing the ad where the lady goes in there trying to get stuff, and the pharmacist says, "Look up this on your phone for it." And she goes in and she looks up this thing that gives a coupon discount. That's so she can actually get the medication she needs. Let's see, checking out here. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, if like I said, Duncan 1900 Homestead is here. Hey, Brenda. So if you talk to your doctors about different medications and stuff and things, and have a calm, collective talk with them about, not being a prepper, but just saying, hey, I want to be prepared for emergencies like the ready.gov says to do. And, I'm checking to see if I can get some extra medications so that if like the hurricane comes through, I don't have to be, might not be stuck out there unable to get to the store to get more medications, because I may be on day 21 of my prescription and I can't get it refilled for several more days. And all of a sudden the hurricane hits or the winter storm comes in for up in the northern states, or the tornadoes hit, like I froze, hit in the central southern states there a couple weeks ago. That's if you talk to them calmly, says, say, hey, what program is there out there that'll allow me to get an additional 30 days that I can keep a rotation on, so I'm never short in case something bad comes up. And you'd be surprised, if you have a good doctor, he'll try to work with you on that. Hey, Arizona Highland Homestead. Sorry about that, Tibor. Oh, Tibor, if I'm remembering right, I'm not going to go into details on it, on what she has, but I believe Doc Bones and Nurse Amy said that some of the stuff coming from out of Australia, you can get an extra month's supply worth, and from there, and it's the same stuff that's from here. I was on that live stream we did, about 2 years ago. I'm trying to remember what that was. You can always check with Doc Bones and Nurse Amy and email them questions, and they'll be happy to answer it for you. Hey, Christy Betts is here. Hey, and trying to catch back up on the stuff that went flying by here. All right, CB says health savings account, anything that expires at the end of the year on insurance. Yeah. And if you have the thrift savings plan, the one where they take so much out of your check and you use it for buying certain things. You buy your medication stuff, you send it in, they send you the money back. Check with those guys too, because sometimes they can finagle the extra so you don't lose your money, and allow you to get medications on that way too. But so other things, water's like I said before, water is the biggest failure of most preppers, and there's very few preppers that actually have enough water to go a full year. And basically you're talking 1 gallon a day per person for drinking, another gallon a day for food prep. That's basic. And saying yeah, people are going to say, well, I can stretch it a little bit here and there. Yeah, you can, but think about basic stuff. Because sometimes if you're doing a pasta, you're using a lot of water in your pasta to cook your pasta. It's kind of hard to fudge that with your drinking water. But then that pasta water, don't throw it out when you go to drain your pasta. Save it, use it for watering your plants or whatever else you need. That way you're reusing your water, and it's not technically, it's light gray water because it's been used a little bit to cook food, but it's still drinkable. It's still potable, but you can also use it to put on plants and stuff once it cools. Arizona. Okay. My thoughts on Berkey. Well, considering that there are several states, 3 that I know of, that Berkey cannot sell in because the states have banned it because their claims do not meet the performance of their units, and they say, no, you can't sell here because of your claims, and because we tested it and it fails. No, I don't use Berkey. In fact, I did on my Camp Patent Family Compound one. I still got to release the video over here again on this channel as well on the filter system I use, which is hands and fists above Berkey. And that's the Zen water system, and it's a lot cheaper. Ginger Ninja's lurking with her big eyes. Oh, and that's the other thing too. Don't forget about your pets for water. Dogs, cats, snakes, lizards, parrots, frogs, goldfish, whatever. Your pets are going to need water too. And if you have a horse, you need to figure on 10 gallons of water per day for a horse. Same thing for a cow. All right, let's try it. Yeah. Okay, down here on the bottom. Okay, so yeah, Ginger, Dave's lurking too, and he says you're in his corner. You need to go over the other corner to the lurk. Okay, Tibor, here's one for you. I'm not sure if that'll work for you or not. You can check with your doctor, see if that will work on it, or your wife. All right, so water. Let me finish the rundown on water now that I got distracted by the side chat. Squirrel! Side chat. So 1 gallon a day for drinking, 1 gallon a day for food prep, 2 more gallons a day for washing pots and pans and washing your hands. That's being very judicious in your use of water for washing your hands. All right, so now you're looking at 4 gallons a day. And we're not even talking about taking a shower or any other sort of sponge bath or rag bath or anything else. All right, so that's 4 times 365 days. So yeah, you're looking at over almost 1,500 gallons a year for one person. Not very many people have water tanks or water supply do that. If you have a well and you have, besides your electric pump on it, you have a hand pump, you're good. And yes, Uncle Al has a cattle tank full of water. So he's got about 10,000 gallons. Hey, Wendy, Hardknack Farms, how you doing? Merry Christmas to you too. Hey, Stuart's Prepping, how's it going? So there's a whole bunch of different ways of doing your water storage. You can do those little water bricks like Tasha over at Mama Bear Prepping does, when she stacks them all in her closets and under the beds and under the couch and all around her apartment. The that's I think those are either 3 or 5 gallon bricks, depending how you what size you get. Now I know I've told some people I got a couple 330 gallon IBC totes in the shop full of water. I got a bunch of 55 gallon barrels full of water. I also have the Snake River less than a quarter mile away, and I got an irrigation ditch flowing through the middle of my property. So I got a lot of water sources that I can use, but I'm also looking at getting a couple more IBC totes. So I have, so when the wife comes up here, we'll have for both of us, we'll have, 2 years worth of water supply. Water does not go bad, folks. It may get flat, which means all come out of it, and you need to re-aerate it. And there's a lot of different ways you can re-aerate the water. But, once you re-aerate it, it'll taste just as good as normal. The only time you got to worry about water, quote, going bad is when you put it in a dirty container and it's got bacteria in there and the bacteria tries growing. And that's why you add, for clean water, you add 4 drops of bleach per gallon. All right, so you get your water taken care of. Now, it doesn't mean you got to get a full year's worth right off the bat. You should try to get at least a month's worth of water in storage, because things can go bad and you'll still have tap water for a while. So once you start working on your preps and you have 30 days worth of water, then you need to add to what you already have in your house, in your kitchen pantry. And most people, if they have food in their pantry like most people do, they're going to have at least a couple weeks worth of food there. Just start oh shoot, I forgot to grab it when I was there. Albertsons just put out their new flyers today. So did a bunch of other grocery stores. Wednesday they put out the new flyers. See what's on sale that you buy frozen, that you buy anyways. You want to make sure you don't want to go out, oh, this is on sale. Do you eat it normally? No. Do you like it? No. Why are you getting it? Get the stuff that you like and eat normally. Let me think here. I'll run out some stuff off the top of my head. Tuna canned tuna, canned chicken, hamburger helper, tuna helper, macaroni and cheese, things like that. That you can fix up, and like with the hamburger helper and some of those, you don't actually have to add hamburger to it. You can take, if you got the canned meat, like that I've done with some of my videos over on Camp Patton Family Compound on the for cooking using the Kirkland's canned roast beef in broth. You can use that with hamburger helper, no problem. It's 12 ounces instead of 16 ounces, so you just, have a little bit less meat in, or you use 2 cans. And you'd be surprised that if you add a can of tuna to a can of beef in a hamburger helper, it doesn't taste that much like tuna. All right. And yes, Tim, there are a lot of things you can do with rice and beans. There's a lot of seasoning you can add to rice and come up with 30 different rice dishes that don't taste the same. And all the thing you're changing is the seasonings you add into it. Got to kill the coffee. I wasn't expecting to be up here by myself, Bruce. Courtney. Hey, Josh, how's it going? Gardner Josh is in the house. Tammy, Rebel Canners is in the house. Woo! All right. So when you're adding to your initial food supply, make sure it is what you eat. There is the adage for preppers should all be monitoring and living by. Store what you eat what you store. first in, first out. Take your kitchen pantry and expand it till it's full. Slowly add to it. Easiest way to do that. And so, to some people, it's really easy. Some will have a little more hard time planning stuff out. But you plan out. First, plan out a 1 week meal menu. What you're going to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for every day of the week. Then add a second week to it, and don't repeat any of the dinners, and try not to repeat any of the lunches. Breakfast is one of the ones that people repeat all the time because, hey, some people like my wife, she loves Raisin Bran. She loves instant oatmeal, and she loves the Honey Nut Cheerios stuff. And so she'll eat, go through several of those things, every morning for breakfast, rotating between those three things. And she's perfectly happy with it. Hey, Emma, 3010. Did I just miss someone going up here? Let's go back. Albany Mountain Homestead, how you doing? All right. So once you have a 2 week menu drawn up, now you start stocking up everything you're going to need to fix those meals. This is above and beyond what you get normally every week. So you start adding on, get a couple of the items for a couple of the day's menus. Keep adding on to it till you have a full 2 weeks worth of meals in your pantry, besides what you've been buying normally. Then what do you think the next step is? Add a third week, and then add a fourth week menu. Once you have 4 weeks, then you can start repeating some, not all, of the dinner items. Like Tim was saying, rice and beans, you can do a lot with rice and beans and not have the same meal. Once you have some meals figured out, you start adding to it and expanding upon it, you'd be surprised how well you can develop a food supply rotation in your home. Froze again. Now, I know people like Kaylin's who are in an apartment have limited space. So, she's been very losing my wording here. It's on the tip of my tongue. Ingenious about how she stores her food and stuff in her place. She's talked about it. And you just work on having things stored around so you can do it. Once you have your 1 month's worth of food stuff done, set up, then you work on the second month. Then you work on the third month. By the time you're on the third month, you could be repeating the first month just totally over again. Just start adding the supplies. But you can always throw extra meal ideas in there in the rotation. Hey, you get near the holidays. Thanksgiving, hey, you're not going to have turkey every night like you do on Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is on with a turkey, and then from that you usually have leftovers and stuff for the next day or two of things you can do: turkey burritos, turkey enchiladas, and things like that you normally don't have. But then if you are stocking canned meats that have a 2-3 year shelf life on them, and you start stocking turkey, shredded pork, beef, shredded beef, and they even have pre-cooked hamburger in a can, spam, chicken, tuna, sockeye salmon. They have all these meats in a can that last quite a while. And you can then expand your menus just because, hey, I'm storing this meat that I don't have to put in the fridge. And it's good for quite a while, so I can now change up stuff. Then, if you want, you go over to Mouse Toes or Rebel Canners, and you learn how to can meat in the mason jars in a pressure canner. And you learn how to can stews and soups. So you can make stuff as you like pick up stuff at the farmer's market during the summer when stuff's out there and cheap, and you add to your preps that way. Now, have I been talking about adding weapons to your preps yet? You're probably not going to need. All right. Yeah, you're right, Emmett. It's not hard to can meat. Follow the directions. Actually, let me go back here. I'm going to bring a book up here for you guys. There is a cooking. Where's my cook? There's cooking. No, I want to go to canning. It's in canning, I believe. Yep, there it is. There's a book on Amazon. Let me show it here. Oh, and it's now in Kindle version as well. And this is the Complete Guide to Home Canning, revised. It's U.S. Department of Agriculture and the National Institute of Food and Agriculture. A lot of good canners use this as their, quote, Bible of canning. Paperback is $8.75. Spiral bound is $29 because it's more expensive to do spiral bounding on it. The Kindle version is $3, $2.99. So good information there for canning. Let's see here. Actually, I can just go ahead and leave that up there so you guys can look at it there. All right. Tammy says we eat different meals by season. Yeah. And that's the thing. You can eat certain type of meals during the summer and different ones in the winter. Hot soups. It seems to be a fall and winter, meal favorite. Generally, people don't eat hot soup in the summertime. Hey, Tina Weber. The Kraken is in the house. Woohoo! All right. So there are a lot of different things, ways you can do it. Once you start looking at meals and you start planning out meals, your horizons start expanding. My youngest son, he's now 22, spent several years on quartermaster staff for the Boy Scouts National Youth Leadership Training Course, where he worked in the kitchen, and because he liked learning all sorts of new things to eat and stuff. And he actually brought some new menu items in there that they adapted for the next to feed the scouts. One of the things too to consider is if you find one of the good old-fashioned Betty Crocker cookbooks. I have my grandmother's from back in the 60s. The recipes in there, most of them are still in the newer books, but you can go to the thrift shops or the used bookstores and pick up these old cookbooks. And if the person you look through if there are several of them there, look through the one that has all the notes written down on it, all the changes, all the the tweaks and stuff they did to it. Extra information right there. Exactly, Elby Mountain. There's a lot of different ways to preserve food: dehydrate, fermentation, curing, salt packing, freeze drying. Pennsylvania Prepper has a freeze dryer, and she's done hundreds of videos on freeze drying just about everything you can think of. I believe she actually even freeze dried dog food. So there's a lot of things to consider in your preps where you don't have to go and make a choice between guns or food. Oh, wow. I think it's going to be food. Guns or medical supply. I think it's going to be medical supply. Ammunition or food. All right. You get the point. There are, things, these channels that are out there saying you got to have guns and ammo. That's your primary preps, guns and ammo. They're full of figadinis, as my cousin liked to say. So there's a lot of things to do before you have to worry about getting a bunch of guns and ammo. Now, I'm not saying not to have one at all. Yeah, I got a couple. My wife has a couple. My daughter has one. Actually, she has one of my 22 rifles over there as well. But they don't have 20 or 30 of them, like some of these guys are saying. Yeah, freeze drying is expensive. But if you're doing a lot of stuff and you're putting up for long time, it can pay for itself in the long run. Also, there are probably people out there who get one and they're not using it all the time. And then, they call up their friends. Hey, I'm not using it. You want to freeze dry anything? So, make some friends with someone that has a couple people that have freeze dryers, and you may, be able to go over there and do some freeze drying or whatever, or borrow it, bring it over to your house so it runs up your electric bill, not theirs, and you can freeze dry some stuff there. So what else in here? Yeah, and that's the other, like Kaylin said here. That's the thing. You get together, join a group to purchase and share a freeze dryer. That's one way of doing it too. Hang on, I just saw that. Good point. If you can't purchase ammo, the thing you want to use the ammo in is kind of useless. And thank you, Joe. I'm just trying to share information and get people on the right track. Use common sense. I know there's a bunch of people in Washington going, oh, they're using common sense. Our heads are going to explode. Now we got to stop them from using common sense. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm not big on fermenting stuff. Sauerkraut was the only thing that my grandmother used to ferment. So, yeah. Oh, preserving without electricity. Smoking, solar dehydrators. Who was it? Did Anthony do it? I think Anthony Pimento Prepared did a video on a solar dehydrator. If it wasn't him, it was Reed at Manifestation of Imagination. Reed also has I think he has his whole house now on off-grid solar. Okay. Oh yeah, exactly. Kraken tamales, and that's something I didn't go into here. Uncle Al's bringing it up. Crossbow or regular bows. So you don't have to go Rambo on everybody, but you can still have a bow to hunt by. I'm just trying to think of just you're on a roll and you have a brain fart. I just had a brain fart. Yeah, you need to be well rounded on it, Tibor. Yeah, don't sell yourself short. Don't maybe you cover it all, but you don't have to go out and spend the majority of your money having 20 rifles or I got two hands. That means I can use two pistols or a rifle or a shotgun. I have all that, so I don't need to go out and buy the latest and greatest weaponry. Right now, I just need to spend my money because I have I have some stuff to defend myself with. I need to spend my money on supplies. One of the things I'm also doing right now is trying to get set up so that this spring I'll be setting up all my solar panels. And so hopefully I'll be able to set up enough solar panels so that I can basically run the house off of solar during the daytime and only run it on the grid at night, because right now I have an electric hot water heater. Well, it doesn't come on at all. It's got a timer on it, so it doesn't come on at all during the daytime. At 10 o'clock at night, when the price of electricity drops, that's when it comes on. And in the morning, just before 7 o'clock, when the price kicks back up, it turns off. So, for all my lights and everything else, I could run everything off of the solar once I get it set up. Anyway, that'll cut my electric bill probably by a quarter. All right. What did? Oh, yeah. And that's another skill you guys can learn too, is how to preserve cheese by waxing it. Now, that doesn't mean you have to make the cheese yourself. I've seen some videos on YouTube here. Check them out. Look for them, people, where people go and buy the big 5-pound or 10-pound bricks of cheese, and they cut it up into 1-pound bricks, and then they wrap it with the cheesecloth, wax it, and then put it away to store. Yeah, that's true, Christy. Dehydration does, you can do it over stove, but most of it needs to be done in the summer. And if you're going to try to do dehydration in the winter, you can do the indoor electric dehydrators, the ones you buy. But if you're trying to do want to do a solar one, if you have it properly insulated and stuff, depending on where you are, what part of the country you're in, you might be able to do some in the winter time, but I wouldn't count on it all the time. If you check, watch the weather and say, oh, we're going to have some good stuff up in the 70s for the next couple of days, that's when you do it. Just got a shepherd sling, so I'm going to learn how. Yeah. As a kid, I tried that. I got pretty good, and I let go I did it wrong once and whacked myself in the back of the head once. But yeah. Yeah. And CB was saying the wax she used was specific for cheese. Yeah, you need to get the proper waxing for cheese. See, there are videos out there for everything, folks. How to make cheese from powdered milk. That would be interesting. Yeah. Or is it where to go? Yeah, wax cheese, if it's kept in a root cellar type thing, can stay good for years because it's totally, there's no oxygen in there with it. So it's sealed up, and it's the oxygen that provides the stuff for the bacteria to make the cheese go bad. Oh, someone's going to have a warm Christmas. 75 for Christmas in Northwest Arkansas. Of course, I don't know if Carol's still in here or not. Carol's down in Florida, so there are some. She's going to be poking fun at everybody with her 81 degrees on Christmas, or 85 degrees, whatever it is down there in Florida. They used to use sawdust and other things for preserving foods as well. And I agree with you, Christy. Oh, I love my cheese. They were out of the little the cheddar cheese sticks at Sam's Club for about a month, and when they got them back in, I bought about 5 of the big packets of it. I've stuck them some of them in the freezer. Oh, 80. All right. Texas is hitting it right now. They got the record set for Christmas, 89. Anybody else has some high temperatures in here? If Carol was still here, I bet she'd be trying to beat that. So, all right. So once you have your water and your food, and you have a weapon or two to help protect your home, probably one of the other things you need to think about, especially if you still have kids at home, is watching the sales. When certain clothes go on sale, get some sizes bigger for the kids to grow into. And don't forget about hand-me-downs. I know some kids absolutely hate hand-me-downs, especially the older kids have, really wore them out and, got patches all over them. And patches are another thing to put into your preps. Sewing materials and the stuff we're putting patches on. They even have that powder stuff you put on there. So you can put regular piece of a cloth over there, you iron it on, and you can stitch the edges there so it sticks and holds good. Let's see here. Catching up on the side chat, making sure. So clothing is something to look into. And let me flip back to this here real quick here. Clothing, medications. Yes, we've talked about medications. We talked about water, food, clothing. Cooking stuff. We're going to go back to food a little bit, but not for food itself. Probably what most preppers don't get when they're, is something that's out there. I think it's really cool. My wife loves it. All right, cast iron. We have cast iron stuff, and some people go, well, my doctor says I'm older now. My doctor says I shouldn't be cooking in cast iron because it puts too much iron into my system. There is ceramic coated cast iron. So you don't have to worry about that. It's got the ceramic coating on it, and they got the Dutch ovens, and they even have the ceramic coated skillets and pots. They're hard; those are harder to find, but the Dutch ovens are out there for cooking stuff in. And you don't always have to use the Dutch oven in the oven. You can use that big Dutch oven out on the stove as well, on countertop. So that's something to think about too, is, because also if the power's out and you got an electric stove, but you have a barbecue pit out back, or a campfire pit, out there, you can go cook out on that. And cast iron is great for that. If you got camp stoves, that's something else to consider adding to your preps for emergencies and stuff. Because hey, you could be in one of the. I don't want to disparage anybody from that suffering from the tornadoes, but if you're there and you totally survived and everything's fine, but your power's out and your gas is out or whatever, or you got a problem where you can't cook inside the house. Camping gear is the ultimate prepping stuff because it's made to cook outside. Joe, you ought to see what I can cook in Dutch ovens. I've made some killer meals in Dutch ovens. And if you're Boy Scouts, learn to if you go in, if the Boy Scouts go to the National Youth Leadership Training portion for the week, they'll learn to cook some really killer stuff in Dutch ovens. Yeah. Well, true. That's true, Tibor. You got to be careful when handling the ceramic coated cast ironware. You can't treat it like normal cast iron. You got to use kid gloves with it and treat it respectfully. You got to treat it like you're trying to make it last 100 years, and it will last 100 years then. Okay, Joe, you were just pulling my leg. Okay. All right. Yeah. All righty. So we're wrapping it up. Going to wrap it up here now. Let me pop over here and pull up my list here. Ooh, what the heck? Oh, I'm missing one. Okay, I got to reopen that up. Okay, so tomorrow night, Courtney at White Family Farm is not doing a live. She's not doing any lives where she's broadcasting the live until Sunday, January 2nd. Then she'll be back on her lives. Throw that up. Where'd it go? Throw that up there. So Thursday, on Thursday Talk here on Grayman Prepping, the scenario-based events. The scenario is, after the supply chain fails, what are your plans then? So people now are talking about, oh, we got to prep for when the supply chain fails. So we're going to talk about afterwards what people are going to be doing. What are you going to be doing afterwards? And hello, the atypical hustlers. Welcome. So we're going to that's what's on for Thursday night. We're going to talk about plans and stuff when the supply chain fails, and so we're also going to do an update on what's going on in the trucking industry, and especially what's coming out of California. What's going to be happening in California on Thursday? Thursday, California trucking's taking a big hit, and we'll talk about that Thursday night on Thursday Talk here, not here, but on my other channel on Friday, Christmas Eve, on Friday night in the Homestead on Camp Patton Family Compound. We're going to talk, and that's what the CFC is for those that don't know, Camp Patton Family Compound. We're going to be talking about Santa Claus coming to town. It's going to be a kickback, relaxed one. We'll have more people up here who want to come up and just talk about what their favorite things about Christmas, ornaments, stuff their grandparents used to do, parents used to do, whatever. We're just going to have a kickback, relaxed chit chat on Friday. All righty. Next Tuesday here. After Christmas. That one should have been before Christmas. Oh, well. So we're going to talk about holiday travel. And because it's not just for Christmas, there's other times people travel. And going into the winter, actually, today's the first day of winter, folks. Today is the first day of winter. We got 3 months of winter. So we're going to be talking about winter travel as well. All righty. So that's what's coming up. And want to thank everyone for coming in here. All their comments in the side chat, all the information. Oh, you had to go there, CB. You had to go there with the cornbread and cast iron. That is absolutely fabulous. If you want to check with it, go on Facebook, check out Anna Mimsey's Garden on Facebook. If you need to contact me, and I'll give you what her Facebook page. But she just did a whole bunch of bread cooking in cast iron. Oh man, the cornbread was hit first and hardest. Oh, Tina, yeah, I was at the last 2 weeks ago. I was at Sam's Club. They were out of toilet paper. Today they were out of toilet paper. 3 weeks ago they had a ton of toilet paper. So it's supply and demand shipping. They're just having trouble with getting enough truck drivers to deliver everything to where it needs to go right now. I was talking to the assistant manager today to find out what the problem was, and they'll get a supply in and boom, it's gone because people are freaking out ahead of time. So, all right, with that, just want to remind everybody: stay happy no matter what life throws at you. Stay safe. Don't go out and do stupid stuff or foolish stuff or whatever. Stay safe. And most important, keep adding to your preps: water, food, medications, clothing, and other things you need. All right.